Dad, what'd you spill?
Oh, that's a ritual.
Yep, that's my old man, and he suffers from terrible hemorrhoids.
Here we go.
Once a spry young buck, now just another swollen lump in his rump.
Can you at least not be
So
an
this
idiot?
Father's Day, give Dad the gift of Preparation H.
Jake,
Thanks to Preparation H, my dad can finally do the things he loves, like watching the game
I'll be in the
and
car.
yelling at his son. Preparation H, it's what Dad's been itching for.
Hey guys, happy new week. Today we have a story on guns and Canada. Just Canada in general. So first up, there's been this incongruity between gun owners and cannabis, and that has been the case for a while and hasn't really been a problem. But now medical marijuana is becoming so commonplace that it's going almost above politics and above the division between Democrats and Republicans. And there are a lot of Republicans that are getting prescribed medical marijuana. The only problem with that is if they're prescribed medical marijuana, they can't renew their gun license. And it's a fascinating thing now, where because medical marijuana is becoming so prevalent, this is becoming a deal. Like, we have to worry about people who are gun owners keeping their guns as they also are able to have medical marijuana. And so federally, when you apply for a gun permit, it asks you, do you smoke marijuana or whatever? It asks you something about marijuana, and you can either say yes or no. If you say yes, you don't get the permit. If you say no, you're lying. So this has been a problem for a while, and recently Minnesota, there are two groups that are teaming up. There are the medical marijuana advocates and the conservatives of Minnesota, who are lobbying their state Department of Health to petition the federal government for an exemption to this law. This would be the first time that any state of the 36, I believe, that have legal medical marijuana, this would be the first time anyone would actually be petitioning the actual federal government to change this. And it's definitely something that should be changed, and it's a little silly to say that gun owners can't have medical marijuana. As long as it gets enough heat and traction, it will pick up. And the fact that there are conservatives around this, that there are conservatives backing this, I'm sure within the coming months we're going to start to hear more and more about it. It's fascinating because this is actually a sticking point for some Republicans. They don't want to have medical marijuana because they are not able to have their guns along with marijuana. And you see this in Pennsylvania, you see this in Minnesota, you see it everywhere. So this could potentially help get that red backing from the Republicans, and that goes a long way. That goes a long way in normalizing marijuana, especially just starting with medical marijuana and moving up to eventually recreational. But this could be big when more Republicans start to rely on medical marijuana. Secondly, a small little story, a small fascinating story about Canada. They legalized marijuana in 2019, and opinions around it are changing. One of the more interesting opinions, well, I guess we'll start with one that's not as interesting. A report asked a bunch of different questions to Canadians about marijuana and how they feel about certain things. One of the facts is that 24% of Canadians would order a cannabis dish at a restaurant, and that is actually down from 25 in 2019. So 25% would order it back then. What it's showing is that there was a lot of excitement and interest before it was legalized, and now that it is, people are kind of like backing off and being like, yeah, whatever. And that especially is shown through the interest in edibles, which has actually kind of detracted. 25% of cannabis consumers say they prefer edibles, which is down from 36, which is a huge jump down. And I think what that means is that more people have tried edibles, or more people have done more edibles and realized that, you know what, it's just not for me. It's too strong. It takes too long to kick in, and you don't really know what you're getting. It makes you think if edibles really do have kind of a long-term home, besides people who want to worry about their lungs and things with the smoke and vapor. I found that to be a really interesting drop in percentage. I think we'll probably see something pretty similar in America. People typically, from my perspective, want a high that happens sooner, almost instantaneous, and a high that lasts not as long, so that you don't have to like kind of bunker down and be here for hours as you wait for a high to end. Seeing things like this come from Canada gives us a better picture of where we'll be once we federally legalize this plant. And that's kind of the two stories I have today. We'll be back on Wednesday and talk about more stuff. Oh, by the way, Connecticut is legalizing officially tomorrow, so we'll talk about that on Wednesday. See you then.